welcoming you back to gathered worship this coming Sunday and to walk you through the procedure and policies that we have in place in order to make sure that that is the best possible and the safest possible experience that we can have together. As you've heard, we will be regathering this Sunday for a 10 a.m. service here at church. Now, in order to maintain social distance protocols and policies that we have put in place, we are asking that people arrive at 10 to 10 and no earlier. The longer you stay in a space, the more likely you are to transmit something. The doors will open for our worship service at 10 minutes to 10 for the service to begin at 10 o'clock. When you come to worship, you will enter through these front doors and you will see there are some notices of requirements for masks before you enter, and also just a quick checklist of symptoms for COVID. And if you have experienced any of those symptoms, or if you think you might have come into contact with someone, or if you are just unsure about your attendance and willingness to attend, we encourage you to stay home and to participate in our worship through the Trinity Church at Home packet, which will be continued to be provided. In fact, the Trinity Church at Home packet will be designed to parallel our gathered worship experience here. So whether you are here in person or whether you are at home in worship, we will participate in worshiping our God in the same way together. Of course, before you enter the building, we ask that you have your mask on and that you keep your mask on for the entire duration of your time inside the sanctuary space. If you are unable to wear a mask because of health reasons, or for children under the age of 10, you are not required to wear a mask. We invite you into that space, and we just encourage that everyone practice proper social distancing and hand hygiene as we can gather safely together. As you come in these doors, you will be introduced to traffic flow and a path through, as well as have the opportunity to sanitize your hands before you enter the worship space. After you enter through the front doors, the traffic flow will move directly into the sanctuary space. As you come, you will find a hand sanitizer station where you can clean your hands as you come in. As you move through the doors into the sanctuary space, you will see all sorts of signs and reminders to practice physical distancing and to keep yourself safe in that regard. As well, when you come into the sanctuary space, you will see that it looks a little bit different as we have set up the space for social distancing. As you enter in the back of the sanctuary, you will be greeted by a council member in charge who will note your attendance on a document, a digital document that we will keep. This is for the purposes of contact tracing. So if it does happen that someone who attended our service does contract or is suspected to have COVID, we will be able to communicate with everyone who has gathered and has participated for our worship together. In addition, we are also providing what we're calling Sunday school clipboards. Because our worship will not provide nursery or Sunday school for the youngest of our kids, we have a chance here to give them some resources, some coloring pages, some Bible lessons that will help them stay focused during our gathered worship together. Following the council member in charge taking your name and noting your attendance, they will walk with you to help you find a seat. Now, of course, as you move down the aisleway, you will see that there is seating available. We encourage you to sit in your family bubbles as you have been living and practicing for so long. And outside of your family bubble, it is required that everyone maintains that 2 meters social distancing spacing. And so, for instance, in this row here, if you are seated on one end, you must leave 2 meters between you and the person beside you or the family beside you as you come together to worship. As we gather in this space for our gathered worship together, things will look a little bit different, not only with the seating and the requirement for masks and the like, but we are working hard to condense our worship experience together so that we can be intentional about the time that we spend. And so we will sing only a few songs, and at least one of those songs will be focused on children and their ability to sing and to worship together. We will gather, we will pray together. Someone will lead in what we're calling the Great Prayer, and that will include a prayer of confession, the prayer of the needs in the community around us, as well as prayer for illumination as we come into the teaching portion of our gathering. Following that prayer, we will indeed have a teaching portion where I will lead and preach, and then we will move into a celebration of the Lord's Supper, which we're really excited about. Now, to be sure, if you are participating digitally in our worship, as we move to Lord's Supper, we invite you to participate with us. You can grab some juice and some bread from your house and join us in that celebration of the Lord's Supper. Because we are gathered here as the body, we invite you to join us as the gathered body, apart and digitally present with us in the midst. And so please join us for that time. Following the celebration of Lord's Supper, we will sing a concluding song, and then we will begin our processing out together. Because of COVID, we are required to close off some rooms to public access during our gathered worship, and so there will be places in the church that we're not able to go, and so we want to encourage you to be mindful of that as you come and as you gather. As well, we have specific restroom policies that we need to enforce in order to ensure health and safety and to maintain that practice of social distance. And so we would ask that only one person at a time is able to use the restroom, and there will be some cleaning materials provided for you to wipe down the touch points after you have completed your time there. If at all possible, it would be easiest if we use the washroom as minimally as possible, but of course, you gotta go, and we understand that. Following the service, we will process out the doors at the front of the sanctuary space. And as you move to that door here, for instance, on the left side of the sanctuary, there will be another hand sanitizing station and another reminder to social distance even as you head outside. And here as well, there will be a chance to give your offering to the church. We want to continue to ensure that the ministries of this church and the work of our deacons is supported as we have this time to regather. As you move outside through this door, we do really encourage everyone to maintain that practice of social distancing. We are not providing for an official after-church fellowship time, but we do understand that some of us will want to gather and stay in the parking lot to connect with each other. And that opportunity is there for you outside, but we do really, really strongly recommend that you can maintain that social distance and you practice that for health and love of brother and sister and neighbor as we have the opportunity to gather again. Once again, let me just reiterate how excited we are to have the opportunity to gather together for worship again in this place. If you have any questions or concerns about the policies and procedures that we have, please feel free to email me or to talk to a member of the church council or one of the MLT personnel. We want this to be the best possible experience for all of us. And we understand that there's going to be some anxiety, and we understand that this is going to be an adaptive process that we have to go through and adjust week to week as things change, as policies perhaps change from the government, rules and the like, or as we learn how to do this better together. And so we want to thank you in advance for your flexibility and your support in this time, and really to just say we give gratitude to God for his blessing us with relative safety and comfort during this time of COVID, and really do look forward to seeing you all on Sunday in worship together. May God bless you, and see you Sunday.